Hey everybody, welcome back to Our Liberty House. I'm Lucas, and today I want to talk about something that's exciting that's happening in California, and that is our new composting and organics recycling laws. Back in 2016, they passed a law in California to reduce the amount of compostable material in landfills by 75%. And now it's finally being rolled out, and we want to go over, all the details for specifically Sacramento County and what you can do to make your life a little bit easier to comply with these composting laws. Now, even if you don't live in California, this is still a great video, and we'll show you guys how to implement some home composting and different things you can do to help decrease the amount of organics waste going into your garbage. Why this is important is that California disposed of 39 million tons of waste last year, and approximately 1/3 of that is compostable. So when we're trying to reduce some of that compostable stuff in our landfills, because when it does go into the landfill, it goes into anaerobic metabolism and releases a lot of methane, which is way more potent than carbon dioxide, and it's bad for our environment. For our regular gardeners to the channel and our backyard gardeners, you all know what composting is. But for first-time people just hearing about composting out of this law, let's talk about that. Composting is taking organic materials and using, microbes in the environment to break down that organic material. So your food waste, your paper, anything that's organic in nature, to break it back down. So when you see a bag of soil, compost soil in the garden center, that is all composted from organic material. And so that's using oxygen, microbes, and life to break things down. Just like things decay, we're just speeding that up, in either the backyard or a commercial composting facility to return, organic material back into usable soil. And the other benefits is that it's a lost opportunity. By putting compostable material into a landfill, we're losing out on, a good resource that farmers can use, municipalities can use, cities can use, and even in Folsom, they're allowing you to pick up free compost now. Check out their website, but they will have a free compost pickup, which is a great resource for a community. So I'm going to talk specifically about what Sacramento County is. We're in Carmichael, unincorporated, and so our green waste bin that we already have, that was picked up every other week, is now going to turn into our organics waste pickup, and it's going to be picked up every week. So we're still going to be able to put our lawn clippings, our weeds, our shrubs, any trimmings are still going to go in there, but we're also able to add our food scraps. And what that is really anything food. So when you're cleaning your dishes off after a meal, that is now considered compostable organics waste collection. And even your soiled napkins and if you use paper plates, that all now is going to go into your compostable bin, not into your garbage. So they want you to collect all of that and then start putting that into your green waste bin, which is now, like I said, going to be your organics waste. And that's going to get picked up weekly, which is a kind of a great service now. So now that we're collecting all of our organics together, they're going to go to, a commercial composting facility, depending on what your county and your municipality has lined up, because this law just puts it on the onus of that municipality to decide how they're going to reduce their landfill, their organics in the landfill. But at a commercial composting facility, they're basically going to do what we do in the backyard with having, piles of compost and turning it. So they'll use, tractors and machinery to turn, everything that's compostable. It can be broken down, and they're going to create compost just on a very large scale. And, some municipalities, like I said, are going to give that away to their residents for free. Others are going to use that to, for landscaping across the county, and even as far as soil erosion, degradation and stabilizing after burns. And, so the state has a lot of different things they're going to do with this, but it's just important to know that they're doing what we do in the backyard on just a larger scale now to reduce the amount of organics in the landfill. All right, every jurisdiction, even within Sacramento County, is going to do this a little bit differently, whether you live in Sacramento City, you live in Folsom, Citrus Heights, or unincorporated Sac County. We'll go over a few. For unincorporated Sac County, it's going to begin July 1st. So the week after July 1st, you'll start putting your green waste bin out every week. There is no bagging requirement. You don't have to put anything in compostable paper or plastic bags. It can all just go into your green waste, now your organics waste bin. They don't want any pet waste, so don't dispose of your cat litter, cat poop, or your dog waste in there. That's not allowed. In Citrus Heights, same as Sac County, they're following the same rules. No bagging requirement. It's going to be picked up weekly. Folsom also begins July 1st, but they are requiring that you bag it. We're not a big fan. I don't know why they're doing this, but we'll go over some compostable bags we found and bought for our use just to trial. Placer County currently, from our research, has no requirements. They're going to be doing everything at a separate facility as far as separating the garbage from the organics waste. So make sure you just search your city or your municipality and on the computer and look at what the rules are for you, so you could be compliant with this starting July 1st. We'll drop a couple links in the description, especially specifically for Sac County and our areas that we've done some research on. Okay, now let's go over what we do to collect our organics and our compostable stuff in our household. So we've got this little countertop composter that Beth found at World Market, and it's decorative, little metal, easy to clean. And so what we do is we collect all of our vegetable scraps, even our when we brush the dogs and the cats, we collect all of that in here, and this just sits on our counter, and we dump it every day or every other day into our backyard compost. We don't put any meat or dairy products in here just because we don't want to attract any real pests into our compost here in our backyard. So this is for all the stuff that we home compost. So we'll continue just to collect all of the stuff that we've already been home composting for years. In one of these, you can find multiple varieties or versions of these kind of countertop compost bins online, and maybe we'll link a couple for you if you want some inspiration. But now that we have this composting program in California, we're going to start adding like our meat and food scraps, specifically like anything that's like seasoned and stuff like that. Haven't been home composting. We're going to start collecting in a separate bin, and we'll drop the link down below where Sac County is giving away free kitchen pails for you to pick up at certain locations, so you can start collecting this. You can get a free one. It has like instructions on what can go in there even. So we bought these compostable bags, and they are home compostable. So that's something you want to look at when you're looking at compostable bags. So even if you're using it in a backyard compost, there are things that'll say if they're good for home composting or have to be composted in a commercial facility, which is more controlled. They get the heat higher, they can break down a lot of those plastics. But we were lucky enough to find these. They're good for home composting. So we're going to start utilizing these specifically for stuff that's going to go in our bin that we don't really want the stray cats and the animals to get into, like meat products and stuff. So we'll use these, and I might even trial it a little bit with some of these food scraps that we home compost, because I just want to see, when it says it is home compostable, I want to really see like how well it breaks down. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. I'm sure we will do some stories and some posts about it, either working or not working. So that's at Our Liberty House, same handle. Find us on Instagram to follow that. So we're going to trial these. And like I said, we're just going to keep using this countertop composter that goes into our compost bin. And we can give you guys a little recap and show you our composting system in our backyard. So this is our composting system. We have a lot of videos about this, even how to build this system. It's a 2-bin system, and so this one is obviously the one that's composting right now. Looks like there's some sort of squash growing in it. This does need to be turned. And then this is the one that we're actively adding to. You can see there's paper scraps, there's trimmings from the echinacea, there's a tomato that had blossom end rot. And so this is where we put all of our home composting material into. And we've honestly, the number one question we get is, do we get pests because of putting food scraps in here? And honestly, we have never really had an issue with it. Occasionally we will get, some small like flies or gnats, but it really hasn't been an issue. There's no bad odor. But what we do try to do is, if we put a large amount of food scraps in here, we'll just turn it over a little bit and kind of mix it all in. And that has really prevented any sort of pest issue with this compost. One of the other big things people talk about all the time is your ratios with composting. We've never done it scientifically, but you want to have like a 30-to-1 browns to greens. So if you don't have a large garden or a lot of trimmings and things, you can add a lot of nitrogen. If you do just put all food scraps in there, you will probably have some odor and some pests. So you can always add, paper shreddings is considered, a carbon, which is one of your browns. So you can add that to get the ratios right. We add, we always have 5-gallon buckets around, and that's where we collect our, trimmings and when we're pruning. And so that adds to, the nitrogen that helps keep that balance correctly in the browns to greens. If you don't have a large, if you don't want a large composting system, if you don't have a lot and you're worried about the smell, you can look at worm composting. We've made different bins in the past. Honestly, it just gets so hot here that they're tough to manage, but they have commercial worm bins, and it's really easy, and it's a great way to compost your food scraps and make really, really high quality compost. Or that, I've seen people use those sub pods or worm pods that they put into their garden bin. They put their food scraps in there. The worms can freely move in and out. That's a great system as well, something to look into. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Obviously I'm not an expert in the composting laws and the composting world, but I do want to open that conversation up and give you guys a little bit of feedback as to what is going on in Sacramento County specifically. So, if you have questions, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to get you the right answer. We'll put a bunch of links in the description, and then, so you can check it out on your own as well. Resources. The internet's a great thing. Once again, your green waste bin is now going to be your organics waste in Sacramento County, and it's going to be collected weekly, which is awesome. Pick yourselves up, one of the free composting pails, or get, a more decorative one, and we'll give you some feedback on our Instagram as to how these compostable bags work. That's all I have. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week.